today we're talking about Air, a story of greatness. So this is the 2023 movie, directed by Ben Affleck, starring Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jason Bateman, Marlon Wayans, Chris Messina, Chris Tucker, and of course the incomparable Viola Davis. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I actually kind of teared up just a little bit towards the end, but it's a great movie. It's a very heartfelt, warming story. So the official synopsis for this follows the history of shoe salesman Sonny Vaccaro and how he led Nike in its pursuit of the greatest athlete in the history of basketball, Michael Jordan. As always, if you haven't seen this movie and you are wanting to see it, you don't want to get caught up with the spoilers, then please go ahead and skip to the rating at the end of the video. I'm about to get into spoilers now about the film. Air, man, so this is rated R. I do just kind of want to put that out there. So while it is a great movie, probably not for the kiddos unless you're there. Obviously rated R is meant to be for ages 17 or older, or if you have a parent with you. It is currently on Amazon Prime and playing in theaters, I believe. Go check it out if you haven't. I absolutely adored this movie. It's a drama kind of sports film, and you do get the sensation, and you can tell that it really kind of speaks to a sports audience in terms of just how the movie was shot, the dialogue, and just how they cut the scenes. I really enjoyed all of it, to be very honest. So the movie follows Sonny Vaccaro. That's Matt Damon's character, who really, at the beginning of the movie, you kind of see he's a different kind of person in terms of just how he goes about his day-to-day life. He's a gambler, but you kind of see how his Vegas gambling kind of translates to his career as a shoe salesman. Obviously, he works for Nike, but it's kind of the 80s Nike. So it's Nike in its, I don't want to say it's in its infancy, but it's Nike when it was not as Nike as it is now. So, and it was before Jordan, right? It was before the Jordan brand kind of came online. So this is kind of set in the 80s, and you really get that feel of nostalgia all the way through the film, which I absolutely love. I'm an 80s baby, so I absolutely love 80s films. It reminds me of the days when I was a kid, right? But you get a lot of the high neon, you get the jumpsuits, you get the big shades. But then with Nike, you also get the signature Nike shoes, the jogging apparel. But one thing that I really loved about this movie is they didn't just focus on Nike's story, but they focused on kind of all of the characters surrounding Nike, right? So you've got Adidas, you've got Converse. Those are really kind of the only two that they bring in. But those are all big players in the shoe market back in that time. And the story itself was really centered around, we want to sign athletes. We want to sign basketball players. You know, we want these major endorsements because from their perspective, they're making a whole lot of money off of having these athletes endorse their shoes. Now at the time, of course, Converse was like the big basketball kind of shoe brand. And when Michael Jordan was coming out of North Carolina, he had his eyes set on Adidas, which is, you know, kind of apparent in the movie. But it really kind of shows you how the main character, Sonny Vaccaro, he had this idea that Michael Jordan was just going to be great. And he really, really, really believed in him. And from that belief, it kind of led him to go seek out Jordan's family and talk to his mother and really try to, you know, the whole movie's about the sales pitch to get Michael Jordan to come to Nike. And it's so crazy. The first interaction that he has with Viola Davis, Matt Damon, which is Michael Jordan's mother, he is basically telling her, hey, you know, I'm just a normal shoe guy. I absolutely believe in your son. I think he's going to be the greatest thing that exists. You know that, I know that, and I'm going to prove it to you. Then he kind of lays down what I thought is just one of the more clever things of the film, where he's like, you're going to walk into these meetings and this is exactly what they're going to say. And if they say these things at Adidas and at Converse, then I want you to schedule a meeting with us. And so, you know, they take you through the montage. Of course, they say exactly what he says they're going to say. And then they go to the meeting in Nike. And honestly and truthfully, the Nike meeting in the movie is kind of a bust, right? You don't really know which way they're leaning when they leave the meeting, because the meeting kind of goes a little haywire and they show this weird marketing video that is nothing, it doesn't appeal to Black America, right? It doesn't appeal to the socioeconomic things that Black people think about, right? Michael Jordan's a Black kid from North Carolina, and you got his 2 Black parents in there, and all these people were trying to sales pitch, the great American dream, and it's like, yeah, but what else? Chris Tucker's character I thought was great, right? He played one of the VPs at Nike at the time. I don't remember the guy's name, but he was kind of almost like a mentor to a lot of the younger players that came up through the system. And, they say he's the credit to the reason why Michael Jordan eventually ended up signing with Nike. But they have this whole cast of characters that surrounds kind of this Sonny character that is really the reason how all of these things just kind of played into it to get Michael Jordan to sign. One thing that I thought was just, a great vision for the movie itself, but they never show Michael Jordan's face. Now, obviously, they could have just had this kid actor that kind of looked like Michael and showed him. But I think that was the point of it all. The point of it all was, we're never going to show his face because you already know who Michael Jordan is. The story surrounds Michael Jordan, but it's really not about Michael Jordan. If you pay attention to the film, it's really about his parents and that relationship that caused him to really kind of go towards that deal. One of the points that his mom makes is that she wants equity in the shoes, which I think at that point, no athlete ever really owned a portion of the shoes. They got this monetary payout for being endorsed, but they never got a piece of the pie. And that was one thing that she was very adamant about as his mother, to say, if you're gonna put my son's name on the shoe and it's gonna say Air Jordan, then he needs to get a cut of every single thing that is sold that has Air Jordan on it. And in the movie, they're like, this is crazy, this has never been done, they'll never go for it, etc., etc. But you kind of see that this deal, the deal that Michael Jordan got with Nike, actually changed the game for athletes and endorsements. They walk you through, with any kind of documentary style movie, you get the slides at the end that tell you like the historical facts, which is all good and gravy, right? But it's the drama. It's the drama that really sells this film. So from top to bottom, I thought it was a great film. I'm gonna go ahead and give this 5 chips, and I don't want to do that lightly because I know I've only got 5 chips to work with. It really is a great film. It had humor, it had heart, it had a little bit of action, just looking at the different basketball films and stuff like that. And then it just had this wit to it. You got to see Peter Moore, who's the guy that designed the original Air Jordan, kind of how they went through a couple of different designs and how they found the name. Chris Messina plays his agent, who's kind of this dirt-talking guy from, New York. Marlon Wayans is this like mentor to Sonny Vaccaro, and they have like this one conversation in the bar that kind of convinces the Sonny character that he really needs to go after this because he has this idea. It's just a great film. I don't even know what else to say about it. Air, a story of greatness. 5 chips. So I'd give it 5 chips. I definitely recommend that you go and see this. I watched it on Amazon Prime Video, so I think you can watch it in theaters or you can see it on Prime. It's not too long of a movie, so you can get it all in one setting without having to, do the whole 2-hour Marvel intermission thing. But it's short and sweet, and it's to the point. I get it. And Ben Affleck just looks ridiculous in this movie as he's playing the CEO of Nike, but he's always got on like this jumpsuit with these huge shades, and he's just all in, all 80s, which I thought was just a treat. Definitely go out and see this. If you want to come back and watch some more reviews, I'm going to be continuing to upload. Please go ahead. You can hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to make sure that you get notifications when I have a new video available. If you want to join in the conversation, hit me up in the comments. You can also slide over to my Twitter, which is GM Elanders, at GM Elanders. That's on Twitter. Good morning, Elanders. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll see you soon.